Hi. In today's video, we're going to make this accordion flat book. I make these and I use them as my gratitude journal. Inside, you basically have, this is the front, the cover is a copy of one of my painted masterboards that I did. And then just for the inside cover is just cardstock. And the reason it's called an accordion flat book is because it's got an accordion spine and there's flaps on each page. There's 3 flaps on each side, so 6 flaps on a spread. And what I do with these is each day I write the date and what I'm grateful for. And I try to do 3 to 5 things a day that I'm grateful for. And what this does is this just helps me keep my brain in a good place so that I'm thinking positive thoughts instead of negative thoughts all the time. It's very effective and I highly recommend it. So, with no further ado, I'm going to start the video on how to make this accordion flat book. Our first step in making a accordion flap style gratitude journal is to mark you need 3 pieces of cardstock, okay? 1, 2, 3, and you're going to mark them where you're going to fold them. So I'm going to mark them at 1.5 inches. You can mark them at 1 inch or 2 inches, but I like 1.5 inches. Okay. I've already marked the other side. Okay. Now I don't have a scoreboard, nor do I have my bone folder with me, which is what I would prefer to use, because I'm still in Tacoma. But my daughter's table has these nice straight indentations, sort of. I'm going to line my indentation up. Use my ruler on my marks. It's important that it's as straight as possible. Okay, so there's my ruler, there's my, where's my indentation? There's my indentation. Okay. I'm going to use my scissors as a bone folder and my ruler as my guide. Not super straight, but I think I won't use the indentation next time. Just use my scissors and my ruler. That was nice. So I'm going to do this all the way down the paper on all 3 pieces of cardstock. And I'll be back. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but this is scored all the way across. So I've got 8 1-inch sections and 1 1/2 inch section. Now I'm just going to accordion fold them starting from the wide end using my lines that I just scored. Scoring is important because it makes the folding much easier. nice and even. There's just this little bit left over. So I'm going to do that with the other two. I'll be right back. Okay, now I have them all folded, accordion folded. I'm going to start on this is my right with a full one, with a full inch, and end on a half inch. Now I'm going to tuck that half inch onto the first full inch of the next one. Now on this side, the half inch is on the bottom, so I'm going to turn this over and glue it like so. That will leave me at the back, that will leave me these two facing down. So today I'm going to use, for the first time, Beacon 3-in-1 glue. It's supposed to be, it's from the same manufacturer as Fabrifix and Fabri-Tac. So let's see how this works. Right. I'm just going to put a little bit, this is supposed to dry quickly, so I'm just going to put a bead of glue along the short side. I'm going to spread it with my finger to get good coverage. Turn it over and line it up very carefully. I'll hold this for a few seconds until it's dry. Now I'm going to try to put a small bead along this half-inch piece. And spread this out with my finger. And very carefully line it up. I need to turn it over. Okay, and I'm just going to hold this for a few seconds till it sets up. I didn't do such a good job of lining it up. The purple is sticking out on this end and sticking in on this end, so I'm going to use my scissors and trim a little bit to make it all the same. If I was home, I would be using my X-Acto knife for this. They're all connected. That one's a little too connected. I'm going to let that set up a bit, and I'll be back. Okay, so you've glued them all together. You have this little flap here and this bigger flap here. Now to figure out which is the top and bottom, you lay it down, and when these flaps are laying down flat on the table, that's the top or the front, and you want to mark it because it's easy to mix up. I mark it with a T or an F, whatever. Okay, so now what you want to do is turn it over so the back is facing up. The flap is up, the flap is up. So this is the back. I'm going to take my glue. This is a valley fold right here. This is a valley, this is a mountain. Valley, mountain, valley, mountain. We want to put a bead of glue in every valley. Okay, not a big bead of glue, not too close to the end. We don't want it to smush out, but a medium bead of glue into every valley. And then when we get the bead of glue, we're going to fold it up along the lines that you already have and hold it there till the glue sets. It'll just take maybe 2-3 minutes. I'll be back when it's all set and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so for this, now it doesn't open all the way, but it opens enough that I can still get my pages in there. As you can see, it turns nicely as pages when it's all, oh, that one needs gluing some more. But that's how it's supposed to be. Now, I measured this 8.5 inches. And I want 3 flaps on each side of each page. And so when you divide 8.5 by 3, you get 2.83333333. So I made my flaps 2 3/4 inches. So I will glue them to the pages like so on each side. There should be just a little bit of space between each one. Now to make these, I had some scrap paper, okay, and it was white, and I just put some matte acrylic paint on it to make it more interesting. And I simply measured and used my scissors to cut them. No big deal. So, but I need 55 of these. I need 55 of these. So I'm going to cut those right now and I'll be right back. Hi. Okay, I've got all of my flaps cut out and decorated around the edge. I used these nice pens. They're Uniball, Signo. I don't know if you can see that. See if I can turn it around. Nope. They're Uniballs, and they're really quite wonderful. There's a silver, a white, and a gold. And they write so well. They're so smooth and creamy. I think you'll like them. This is not a paid ad. I bought them myself. Okay, so what I did is I've started filling the pages. And I'm just gluing them in. You can glue them in up towards the top, like these are. Or you can glue them in down here towards the bottom, not at the crease, but near the crease. Okay? So that's what I've been doing. Now I'm going to finish gluing them on and I'll be back. Good morning. This is the next day. I finished gluing my flaps onto my accordion. I have to check this morning. I haven't checked this morning to see if any of them stuck. I don't think so. I was pretty careful. So as you can see, when you open the accordion, you have pages. Pages that are full of flaps. And they're very nice. So when I write in my gratitude journal, I use one of those Uniball pens. Okay, now what we're gonna do is I cut these. This is 8.5 inches by, I measured from the edge to the tallest outside thing, and that's like 5 3/4. So I cut this 8.5 inches by 6. Now I'm going to use this copy of a motherboard, painted motherboard, to cover my the outside of my covers. Okay, so I'm gonna use it to cover. Now, on the back of my paper, I set down my cover, and I'm leaving approximately 1 inch on all sides. And then I made a mark, no measuring required. Now I'm going to take my ruler, hope it's straight, and just take off the extra that I don't need. I like to tear it. It's easy to get it straight when you tear it, and it fits nicely. Okay, now, I'm sorry about the sunshine that's coming through the door. I'm going to set my cover in the middle of the paper. I'm going to keep using the 3-in-1. And I'm just going to put a blob on each corner. I'm going to use my fingers to spread it out a little bit. Make sure you get those edges really well, just in the corners. And now I'm going to take the corners, the very corner, and fold it over the corner of the cover. Now, when I had these copied, I had them put on thicker paper, so this isn't your average. I don't know what the thickness is, but I'm guessing it's like a light mixed media weight. And notice as I'm bringing my corners up, you hang on to them, and you got to press down on the paper where the cardboard goes down. And that way the paper gets creased in 2 places, up here and down here. Let's do that on all the corners. Oh, gotta make sure the first one sticks. Okay, and you gotta make sure those corners are down well, because now we're going to put some glue along this edge all the way around and a little bit towards the top. I don't know if you can see this better. So where the paper meets the cardboard, and then up on top a little bit is where we're going to glue it all the way around. Just a small bead of glue. You don't want too much. This glue is very stringy now. You simply fold the edges up once you get the glue on and hold them so that the glue grabs hold. It doesn't take long with 3-in-1. If you want, you can simply pick up your piece and fold it over. Now I'm going to do the same to the other side. Okay, so I've got these pages from a book. I'm just tearing off the white part. I'll leave just the text. And I think these will fit the inside of my book. And they do. No, not quite. So I'll have to use something else for that. We'll keep these for another purpose. I've got this cardstock, light cardstock. It's 11 by 8.5, so I'm going to cut it in half at 5.5 inches. Oh, where's my pencil? 5.5 inches. Actually, I'm going to rip it in half. And I think it'll fit. I think it will fit the book edges. It should. Let's see. Okay, it's a little long right here. So I'm just going to take 1 inch off of that, or so, approximately 1 inch. And let's test it. Yes, it's the right size. It's beautiful. Let me take the 1 inch off of this one. Okay. Now I'm just going to glue these in using, of course, the 3-in-1. You want to make sure you get the edges really well. And a little in the middle. Make sure you get it over that flap. That's this inside flap. This is part of the thing that's going to hold it together. Okay, I got a little messy, and that's okay. I'm going to let that dry a little bit, then I'm going to do the same to the back. Okay, here are my covers, front and back. Okay, they don't match exactly, but that's okay. And here are my pages. Now I'm going to decorate the front. Okay, I have these 2 phrases never give up, and believe in yourself. And I'm going to put those on the front. And I don't have an ink pad with me, so what I did is around this and around this, I used my Inktense pencils. And I just do around the edge. Now I'm going to do it to the bottom layer. The first color I'm using is a medium brown. It says Willow 1900. These are the Derwent Inktense pencils. Once they're wet, once you get this wet, it turns into ink, and it looks really nice. It'll look as good as if I had an ink pad. This is a bark colored. It's a darker brown. I'm just doing that just on the very, very edge. Now, I'm going to take my water brush. You can get these anywhere, these water brushes. And you just go around the edge like so and activate that ink. Okay, that's what that looks like. Okay, now I haven't wet the other ones yet, so I'm going to do that now. And the last one. All right, set that aside. I'm going to let these dry while I do the other phrase. Then I'm going to glue them together with the blue in the middle. And then I'm going to put them on the cover of my book, and I'll show you a surprise that I'm putting on the cover of my book at the end, in the picture at the end. So you have to watch the credits at the end to see what I do to the front. Now this is my last one I made. This is the last one I made. As you can see, I put some lace on the front, and I did different things around the edges. This is scrap paper. Here's some hemp twine, some nice ribbon, grosgrain ribbon, and some Dollar Tree lace. So you can do all kinds of things. Plus, and I'm not going to do this in my the new one, but I use tape to hold these in, the flaps in, and that has worked nicely. You can use tape or just glue, either one works. So as you can see, you can decorate it in all kinds of ways, and you don't have to put 3 flaps to a page. You can do just 2. And as you can see, on each day I write what I'm grateful for on each little flap. Each flap has its own. I try to get 1 to 5 things every day of which I'm grateful. And that helps keep my brain centered around the positive and not the negative. So, give me a minute. I'm going to finish the front of this book and show it to you. Here I am. Here's the finished cover. The words and the fence posts came in a Friday freebie from Guy Kerr, or Guy Kerr, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. And I will try to remember to put a link to one of her videos in the description below. So that is what we made today. Again, looking at the spine, this is why you have to get that first step right with the folding. That's exactly why, because it's not really even, but I'm okay with that because this is for me. This project is for me and no one else, and I can certainly live with my own mistakes. So, have a good day, be kind, be caring, be creative.